welcome back to Tori's Craft. As always, this is Tori. Okay, so I do have something kind of special going on. With the current issue that is here, which is basically the COVID-19, I figured go ahead and just do maybe one or two little quick videos. So I have my Gryffindor sign, or I don't know. Yeah, I would say it's a Gryffindor sign. It doesn't say down there, but I figured this is going to be quick and easy. There's only 6 colors associated with this painting, so pretty much I'll do Gryffindor Crest. Sorry, just saw that. So what I'll do is basically I'll do just little uh, what am I trying to think of? I'm sorry. Um, Basically a quick little drill with me. Now this does not mean drill with me's are back. I am still waiting on more people wanting these. As far as I know right now, I don't have any emails whatsoever. If you want to email me and you want drill with me's back, my email is down in the description box below. So go ahead and email me at that email and let me know that you want the drill with me back. I am also going to ask for topics because I'm not good at drill with me's, or as they're technically called, whipping chats. I don't call my whipping chats. I call them drill with me's, because essentially what I think and what I have a picture of is you diamond painting along with me. So that's why it's called drill with me. But again, I want to have more people who are interested in this before I go back into doing them again. And so shoot me an email. Um, Basically, how that will be handled, I will not name any names unless you tell me specifically that um, I can share your name on my channel. So I won't be doing anything that you guys don't want me to be doing. And I just thought of my scissors, because I'm gonna need those when I'm cutting open. Where is my X-Acto knife? That might help. And as you guys can tell, I'm not prepared at all. I don't have my X-Acto knife. I don't have scissors. Maybe I didn't have that. What did I do? Oh. Okay. Gotta get. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that was on the floor. And I thought, no, X-Acto knife is not in there. Grr. Okay, I'll be essentially right back. I do apologize. Okay, and I'm back. So, okay. more Tic Tacs. See, it comes in handy when everything is close by. And yes, this is a deal full of Tic Tacs. That's how much I love them. My mom had 2 boxes of Tic Tac containers, and she's like, "Oh, you can have them." I'm like, "Yes, please." Get 6 out. Well, I don't need all of these. That's why I have the bags. I'm a ditz. So, okay, so for my family, right now we are currently on lockdown. We have 50 cases, I want to say, here in Oklahoma. And let me tell you, my mom tried to make me cry. She's worried about getting COVID-19 and possibly passing away due to that. And I'm just like, don't think about it. Don't deal with it. It's just another virus that's going around. So that's my thoughts. Even though I do hate this virus, and I hate seeing it, and even hate thinking about it. So, but essentially what I'm doing right now is you guys are going to see me kit up my Gryffindor chest or crest, and I cannot speak. So, this is going to be fun. 8014. The one thing I do not like about Diamond Dots is them not using the DMC numbers. So it means I have to get a new storage system and essentially use a different system. I mean, granted, I already have to get more containers or boxes or whatever you want to call them, because I am finding that some of the companies I have tried, I'm starting to like them, and they have really good quality of drills, which I'm not really going to talk about most of them because there's still a wait and see type of thing. But the drill quality is pretty awesome. So, got that going. Also, I bought these little label stickers from Walmart. They are the Avery type multi-purpose or multi-use labels, and they are removable labels, which I'm actually going to throw this one away. That got stuck on my table. So those are the labels I'm using now. I was using the labels that came through China, but I noticed that they had a coating on top, which my gel pen here doesn't really like. And this pen is a Pilot V5. So, in this one does not like, I have them right here. Yes, I do. Doesn't like these. They have like a coating on top of them, so it's not like you're writing on a piece of paper. That, and plus these labels are way too big for the Tic Tac containers, as you guys can tell here, if y'all can see that. That label fits perfectly on there. So I really do like that. It keeps me organized. I think I said that right. So, alright, get that out of the way. I'm only opening up this kit for that and maybe even some of the baggies. Which, now I'm thinking about it, I know this one, probably this one, and this will need a baggie. So that's 8325, 8014, and 8001. So reuse the baggies, yay! And save the rest of my baggies. But there's a lot to my madness, really. So, but I figured while we're all going mad, we can go mad in style, right? And this was 8022. I really need to go and get more stuff. That's trash. So, drawer comes back out to play. I already found one trash. And I'm not too worried about showing you guys the trash at the end, because you guys essentially will see me toss the stuff. That, and plus right now I don't have anything extra to toss them in. So, and that is 8014. Which reminds me of a pretty red. And I know I'm spilling some of them. Hate that. Okay, a little bit more. But you guys will see how I conquer my diamond paintings. It's actually improved a lot since the last time. I think when I last did a drill with me, I was actually like, I don't know, I was getting into that phase where I didn't want to do diamond paintings anymore. I go through those phases quite often, and so I find other things to do. Like this week, for example, Monday and Tuesday, all I did was paint. So pretty much all the way up until the kids were in bed, I painted. And I got a lot done. So, I mean, I got a lot done, and I need more, more paint to finish the room. So, I got, okay, it's kind of hard to explain this. My room used to be a 3-car garage. So it got converted by the last owner into a living space. So it's essentially about 700 square feet. So like a 1-bedroom apartment. it's essentially what my room is. But they didn't hook up a bathroom down here. There's no kitchen down here either. Um, though I do have a refrigerator down here. So essentially I have kind of a makeshift kitchen-ish, if you want to count the refrigerator as my makeshift kitchen, because I count that as a kitchen appliance. So, and where I'm at right now, it's actually like divided into its own little section. And I don't know how many square feet this section is. Because essentially, on this side of the room is my office side. I have a window right there that I can actually almost touch. But I would have to get up from here. Say that, let's do it this way. Okay, I essentially have a desk behind me. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I have a window over here. I would have to get up, go around my crafting table to get to my window. I made sure there was enough room in case if I ever want the window open during the summertime. I wanted to make sure that there was enough room for me to access the window and also be able to access my tower for my computer if need be. So I made sure that there was plenty of walking around room. And on the other side, oh, holy smokes. Some of my gems just went flying. That's crazy. So far, it's going a little bit crazy. Do not expect those. It's okay. I don't have that many ABs on this canvas as is because I can already tell where some of them are going to be at, and they're like there's some here down there. The main part will be on this side of the knight's helmet, so there's not a lot of ABs. I'll have plenty left over. Depending on their quality. So, but on that side of the room, I have like a little storage area going on, or trying to go on. I was painting and cleaning my room at the same time. So, and I got a third of my main room cleaned up. Like behind me, I have a cat litter area, and I also got the old kitchen table. So my diamond paintings are actually sitting on top of that kitchen table right now. Eventually, I will probably use that as the unboxing area, because I mean that kitchen table is huge, and I have all my diamond paintings spread out on it and organized from rounds and squares, which is a blessing. I really wanted something to just have my diamond paintings laying out flat, because I don't care if it's pour glue or double-sided adhesive. I personally like the diamond paintings to lay out flat. I don't like hanging them up in on hangers in the closet because I feel like that kind of damages them in some way. And I tried. I can't get my diamonds to hang up properly without the fear of them falling and getting damaged. I've literally have tried this with no luck. Um, I've had diamond paintings falling off of the hanger that I was using, and I was using what everybody else was using in my little groups that I'm in. Um, some were using the hangers from Walmart, like the little pant hangers. Oh, I almost had a nightmare. Anyway, so some were using the pant hangers from Walmart, and essentially, I don't bring home those pant hangers on purpose. Like, I will literally take my pants off and leave it at the register or give it to the attendant if they're watching me. Like, if they're actually doing their jobs like they're supposed to, I will give them the hanger so they can recycle it inside the store to use it for the clothes and stuff like that. Which they really didn't do that when I was working for them. Walmart is just something else. And I am blah 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 blah. Yeah, sorry. Um, I used to work for Walmart. Um, about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I used to work for Walmart, and that was crazy. I experienced my first Black Friday um, shopping nightmare. I had to. I was scheduled to work that day. I've never been out on Black Friday, so never really knew about the crowds. I just, heard about the crowds, and that was scary. I mean, you had lines, and I mean massive lines, and I feel sorry for the cashiers still to this day when Black Friday comes around. I just feel so bad for them. And even now, with all this chaos that's going on, I would not want to be out where they're at. I do feel for them, and I hope and wish that they don't get the virus. So, because they might be, workers at Walmart and they might not get paid that well, which is true. They don't get paid very well. But they have to deal with this stuff. Walmart's not going to close their doors. They're going to make their employees work during this time. And here in Oklahoma, our mayor has determined no more than 50 people. Basically, you can only have a crowd of 50 people, and that's it. So whenever I go to Walmart, I'm looking at the parking lot before I even step out. And I'm like, nope, we're not doing Walmart today. Because if I see more than 2 rows, because there are rows, you can park here and you can park on the other side, right? If I see more than 2 rows like that, you are not catching me at Walmart. especially right now. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to throw away my trash and I'll be right back. Okay, trash is taken care of. So this can go back in here. Put that over there. Are these the ones I want? No. I have a pair of tweezers I really do like. Oop. So my Star Wars tweezers, I do like these. They are very more sturdy than the ones I got previously. And this is my first pair of tweezers from Star Wars themselves. And I like it a lot better, essentially. So now I'm going to get organized. I think I'm saying that weird. The word organized kind of crazy. I feel like I emphasizing a lot on it. I don't know. You guys tell me. Am I being kind of weird when I say organize, or do you guys think I'm okay with that? Okay, so essentially we are now all kitted up for this deal. I'm using that. Darn. That's my only big one with a funnel. Well, one of my big ones with a funnel. Ugh. Okay, that's fine. You know what? Sorry, I'm diamond painting on another one, and don't really want y'all to know which one that is. Okay, there we go. So that's all situated. Okay, also we're going to talk about patty racks in this. We've got a lot of things to cover, and as soon as I can get this all situated. Okay. Alright, I think I'm ready. Got all my drills there. Okay, so, excuse me. The first symbol I see, so I'm just gonna pull this back. Pull it back and place it back down. Because I essentially want to start in this area down here. So there we go. And I want to start with one color at a time, because I figure since this is a partial and we only have 6 colors, I can do one color at a time throughout it. And that color will be 8325, which I have this baggie. So, alrighty, let's get on to the main topic of, well, what's going on in my head right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, COVID-19. First and foremost, please stay inside, limit your exposure, and be healthy. I do care about you guys as much as I care about my own family. Because essentially, without y'all, I wouldn't have a channel. Um, and also, with COVID 19, it is becoming more scarier for me due to multiple things. The first and foremost that is pretty much scary for me is thinking about what would happen if I caught it, my mom caught it, or one of my three brothers catches it. If you guys haven't been following my channel since day one, I do talk about my brothers a lot. They all are disabled with medical conditions. Typically, I don't really tell people their medical conditions, but essentially, if I'm not giving you guys names or accidentally dropping names where I have to edit the name out, essentially it is okay for me to tell you all that stuff. But once they turn 18, I was going to publicly say their names at that time. One kiddo is about to be 11 this year, so I have 7 more years with before I can drop his name. My 5-year-old little brother is about to have his 6th birthday on the 30th, which is 2 Mondays from the 23rd. No, it'll be the 23rd, and then the following week is his birthday. Because I know I'm going to have this one coming out on the 22nd. And I'm going to try to record another video same time next week, which is Saturday going into Sunday morning. Because right now it is Sunday morning. It's 12:32 in the morning. So yeah. But I am worried about all that. All of them catching it. More so my mom. I'm more so worried about her catching COVID-19. And the only reason why is because she is in that age group where we're hearing a lot of deaths or being reported. People who are between the ages of 50 and 60. My mom is about to turn 51 this year, which, oh my gosh, kind of scary. But she also has some borderline medical conditions that may come up as an issue if she catches it. And we had a conversation one morning, which basically has left me in a very depressed state. And I don't like being in this depressed state. And I don't know, I try to like do another vlog just to get everything off my chest. And then I kept deleting the videos. Like, I would start it and then I would delete it. And that, I only did that twice. And so now, here we are with this. I figured since I'm diamond painting, starting this canvas with you guys, it will help me talk more about this issue. So I do have a lot to worry about. First and foremost, my mom is the main person who brings in the most money. I do not bring in enough money to basically feed myself for 2 weeks. I bring in enough money to get me through a 2-week period without buying any food. So basically, entertainment, games, diamond paintings, that's where my money is at, basically. Um, some of y'all probably will think, that's, you really need to work more. And I would agree with you guys. Um, but here's the situation. When your mom is older, or if your mom is older, imagine you're in my shoes right now. My mom decided back in 2016 to foster and adopt. She's a nurse and she wanted to give children with medical conditions a place to call home. I love her. Her passion for this field is amazing. Her passion for the kids is amazing. And now I have never been really blind to disabled people in general, never been blind to them. I would see, when I was working at Walmart, I would see this one customer, she was a regular, come in with her service dog. And I actually, she came through my line and I checked her out. And we were talking. And I was like, I know it's none of my place to ask what your service dog is for, but I want you to know that I think your service dog is very cute. And even though I think that, and even though I really want to pet your dog right now, I'm not going to. And she said to me that she appreciated my honesty with her. And she said, I will allow my dog to lick your hand. And I looked at her and basically the question on my face was like, are you sure? Like, he's working right now. What the heck? And it's kind of like, that was kind of a moment where I felt like somebody was reading into what I was thinking. And she's like, it's fine. As long, you don't pet him, it's fine. I will let him lick your hand. And so we did that and we continued with the conversation and all that stuff and talking with each other. And so that, and plus my mom used to take me to some of the other kiddos that she used to work for. She got the permission from the parents. Um, and I met most of the families she's worked for. Um, Currently, right now, we're living in a house of one of the families that she used to work for and actually has become friends with um, on a personal level. So um, it's very eye opening, but it's also at this time with COVID-19, I begin to wonder, how many cases are there now that is children with disabilities? We don't see that. We don't hear those reports. And I really want to know if any child with disabilities, medical conditions, have gotten COVID-19, how it's going for them, what is their complications. And granted, another part of my mind is screaming, you don't want to know this. But I don't know. I don't know if it will calm myself down from thinking about all the negative that could happen. Because really, for me, I'd rather stay positive. And I mean, I really would rather stay positive. I don't like thinking what could happen. What about this? What about that? I don't even like thinking about possibility of saying goodbye to my mom one day. Even though I am preparing myself for that. Because I know it's going to happen eventually. But I don't want to think about it. I want to more or less think about, my brothers will live past 18, will live past 20, even though, that's 2 more years away from 18. They'll reach milestones. 21st birthday, they can have alcohol, right? Crazy. But these are the things that I hope and wish to come, because what's more better than having that type of hope? Granted, eventually that hope will, diminish, but at this time, I just would rather think about that stuff. Think about them rocking the stage, graduating from high school, which, by the way, for children that have disabilities, they don't graduate until they're like 21. So they are in school all the way up until they're 21. So if you have any kiddos that is complaining about school right now, you can just tell them that if they have a disabled class member, that child is staying until they're 21 because of all their medical conditions and disability. Now, granted, there is a line that separates that. You can have people with learning disabilities like myself. I have a learning disability, which conveys into reading. That's why you guys will pretty much not hear me read like chapter books. It also plays into math. I have a really hard time with math. So personally, for me, there's that line. And I mean, it's a solid line. You have people like myself who have disabilities, but it's not limited to make them stay until they're 21 to graduate high school. And then you have my brothers. One's bound to the wheelchair in a bed. That's the 10-year-old. He's there mentally, but he needs a lot of assistance. He can't write. He can't read. He can't even speak. So for him, he'll stay until he's 21. My 5-year-old brother, who's about to turn 6, may be there until he's 18. Just depends on what's going on with him, if he's able to get better. He's very smart. Very, very smart. And there's some good news, which I'll get to here in a little bit. And then my 3-year-old little brother, we don't know exactly where he's at right now, but he may stay until he's 21. And something went down the wrong tube. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate that feeling. So there's that. And I keep getting off track of what I'm trying to talk about and what I'm not talking about, which is probably why these are very interesting for a lot of y'all. To me, I'm just like, no, can't do it. I would rather be watching TV right now and diamond painting at the same time. That and plus I've also tried to play a video game in diamond paint. That was fun. The best one to do is The Sims for sure. Because there's not a lot you have to do in The Sims. And it's not like you're going to lose the game unless your entire family dies. But, anywho. Um, so, with my family and everything that's going on, it's just kind of silly. And it's kind well, not silly. It's really scary just to think of all the different things that could happen. And I'm not even thinking about what if, their medical conditions actually, creeps up on them and they die from that. Because that is a possibility too. My 5-year-old little brother can have a seizure at any moment and not be the same little boy. And we will basically, if he's not the same, we're not going to put him through anymore. So, I mean, that there, thinking that could happen, that's always at the back of my mind. And I do mean that's always present. Because I've spent 4 years with that little man. I've gotten to know him. I've gotten to love him. And even care about him like he's my own little brother. It doesn't matter that he was fostered and adopted to me. He is my brother. There's no ifs and or buts about it. So for me to sit there and think, oh, this is going to happen, prepare yourself now. I don't want to prepare myself now for that. I really don't. So I take it one day at a time with him and hope every single day that we will be seizure free and Sissy doesn't have to run and get his rescue med because he's having a seizure. And the best part of it, with Mom being a nurse, she sees, something going on. She'll, question it. She'll call the doctor right away and say, this and this is what's going on. And we immediately get his med, his Keppra at least, upped. He's also on several different meds as well. Then Keppra, he has other medications that he's on that also help prevent him from having seizures. Or they not prevent, they help. So they're kind of like Keppra, which helps a lot, but not really Keppra. So, and he has scared me a bunch since we've had him since 2016. He had several absent seizures. One in particular that I remember was kind of scary. I had him laying on the floor and I told him that I'd be right back because I had to go get wipes from another room. And when I came back with the wipes, I'm like, all right, Bubba, I'm back. I got the wipes. He didn't respond. And I go up to him, I say his name. No response whatsoever until I shake his little body. Well, once I shake his little body, there he is. And he looks at me like, what happened? So that is a day in my life, pretty much. Watching him, making sure he's not having a seizure, um, just keeping up with him, period, is hard because he's everywhere. My 5-year-old little brother, if you guys didn't know from me telling y'all he had a disability and medical conditions, you think he'd be a perfect little baby. Because he does not seem, he doesn't show that he has this disability. Or it doesn't faze him. So, and that's a blessing. That is, a big blessing. That it doesn't faze him. Um, and so, with him, I'm always watching him. So I don't have a lot of time on my hands until around this time at night. 8 to whenever I go to bed. That's usually around the time I have to just relax from the day and chill. But I also have meds to do and feedings to prepare for the next day. So yeah, thinking of, all the good times, it's a lot better than thinking about the bad times. And thinking about bad times, it just makes me very depressed, and I can't handle being depressed. I've been there, done that, don't want to be back. So essentially, when Mom and I had that conversation, you guys can imagine how I was feeling at the time. I literally wanted to break down and cry. And my mom was immediately apologizing to me. And I'm like, it's okay. I have to think about that. What if you do get COVID-19 and you pass away? What's going to happen for me and the boys? The first thing that's going to happen is I'm not going to be able to afford the house that we're living in. And I won't be able to have a job because I will essentially be taking care of the kids 24/7, and they need a lot of care. They're not children that you can just leave with a stranger and they be fine. There's none of that. That and plus, with my 5-year-old little brother, he can go to daycare, but what daycare wants to take on the responsibility of this child that has conditions and that they have to watch 24/7 and cannot leave him by himself. Because some daycares, they let the kids do what they want. I know when I was growing up in daycares, I would be at like a home daycare, and the lady would allow us to go and play and do what we wanted. And it wasn't essentially any bad, but I personally would have rather had adult supervision when I was growing up to a lot of things. So, that, thinking what could happen, thinking on what I'm doing now, there's no way I would be able to continue on working for the job I work for now, because I've already downgraded my hours to the weekends only. So essentially, I go in for 4 hours Saturday and Sunday, and that's all up to them if they schedule me for 4 hours. which here lately they've only been scheduling me for about 3 hours max each day, which is also totally fine with me. I prefer to have, less time on the phones as possible, because there are a lot of people out there that I just want to scream, "You're an idiot, and you don't have anything to worry about." But that's just me. That's just, me frustrated. So if something were to happen to my mom, I would have to definitely quit my job. I would be taking care of the kids full time. I'll be getting up 7 o'clock in the morning, getting them ready for the day, try to take a nap if they're going to school, um, so that way I can continue on with the day. One child at this time has therapies and it's all scheduled at home. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are very busy from the time that he gets home until about, he has OT on Mondays and Wednesdays, which actually we're going to bring that up to just having OT on Mondays for an hour. So, Monday there's an hour that I have to be up and alert in case if the therapist needs something. Then Tuesdays he has speech for 30 minutes and he has PT for an hour. So that's an hour and a half. And sometimes speech will get there a little bit earlier, like around noon, like right as he gets off the bus. Speech will be there, and PT is not there till about 1:15. So there's some downtime between the therapies, which isn't that bad. But essentially, it's hard. So if I'm tired, which I have been occasionally with therapies, I do tend to lay down, and I have caught myself falling asleep while he's having therapies. But it's not a deep sleep. It's just, right as you're going type of sleep. So you're instantly woken up by anything, which, I'm thankful for that. And then he won't have OT on Wednesday. So he'll have another speech session on Thursdays for 30 minutes. Again, not bad. And the kids that are half day, which is the 5 and the 3-year-old little brothers right now, they will be down for nap. And I usually keep them down for nap until about 3 p.m. And I get them up at that time. Though the 3-year-old little brother has nursing services. So they take care of him, and all I have to worry about is my 5-year-old little brother, which is, pretty awesome. And that's Monday through Thursday. So 5-year-old little brother can keep me going, especially when he comes home from school. The first thing he says to me, "Sissy, I'm hungry. I want to eat." That's the first thing he says, other than, "Hi, I'm home." Which he'll usually say, "Hi, sissy," and then say, "I'm home," after telling me he's hungry. So whenever we have therapies, I usually give him a little snack before the therapies. And the snack can consist of like 1 or 2 um, deals of baby food, which, yes, he's still on baby food. There's a medical reason why he's on baby food now at 5. Um, Anything that's not pureed up, he will choke on it. And he has choked multiple times in the past with me, um, which I can remember one case that I actually pretty much saved his life. Um, don't want to toot my own horn, but my mom had gotten these little baby, kind of essentially like granola bars. Um, they were round and they were like a stick, so basically straight up it's my pen. Um, and we were using those for him to use as kind of like a chew food, like get him motivated to chew his food. And he took a big bite and proceeded to swallow it whole, and it got caught and he started choking on it. Thankfully, Sissy knows how to get a child to unchoke. The Heimlich maneuver. So I acted pretty fast and I got him bent over my knee and started pounding the crap out of his back. And eventually got the chunk out and like, okay, you're not having this again. So yeah, that's why he's still on baby food. Though he can handle mac and cheese pretty well. Uh, so we're getting him to the point of having other foods other than baby food. Um, he'll have some baby food during the day, and before bedtime, we try to get him to at least have a TV dinner. Sometimes mom will get, um, in the morning, she will give him either pancakes or oatmeal. Because the first thing in the morning, what he gets is pouches. That's what we call them. They're those little, not jars, but containers of baby food. And he calls them pouches, which is totally fine. So essentially, he will get maybe 4, though recently he's been asking for about 6 of them. He'll get those in the morning, and then he gets another feeding before nap, and usually around that feeding, it's like pancakes or oatmeal, something that he can chew. So he'll get that. And when he gets up from nap time, I ask him, what do you want to eat? Usually his response is pouches. And I ask him how many. He'll tell me 1, which is the new thing. He keeps saying 1 pouch. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I know he can eat more than 1 pouch. So I usually give him 2 pouches when he asks for 1. Because that kid can put away food and not gain a pound. He is a blessing. Anywho, so that's the 5-year-old, and he keeps us pretty busy. The 3-year-old, like I said, he has nursing services Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, my mom picks up that shift, or those shifts. So he's usually good. He can be a little bit of a handful. Oh, my phone's on the charger. Oh, it's 1:04. I probably should wrap this up. I was going to try to get this finished, but I do have to go to work tomorrow. or today? I don't know. Here's a question for y'all. Would you consider it to be the same day, even though it's past midnight and the clock and everything else says it's the next day? Would you consider it to be still the same day because you haven't gone to bed yet? Or is it the next day and you're talking about the next day? What do you guys think? Because for me, in my head, it's still Saturday, even though I do know it's Sunday at this time. And I'm thinking Saturday, so I'm thinking tomorrow is Sunday, even though technically by now tomorrow is Monday. Do you guys think that that I should just basically go to bed and just say I'm going to bed Sunday morning? Oh, crazy. Yep. That's where my mind is going right now. So, I haven't really talked about much than my family. I do, however, will talk to you guys. Well, I'm going to finish that train of thought with, you know, the possibility of mom catching the COVID-19 and what it would mean for me. I'll continue on that. So, essentially, I've already told you guys about my 5-year-old little brother's schedule. My three-year-old little brother's schedule is kind of a little bit different. So essentially for him, I would have to, again, get up around 7 o'clock in the morning, change his diaper, and get him weighed. We have to do daily weights with him because he has the diabetes status, and it's not the sugar diabetes. This is the water, the sodium. And essentially, if he has gained 2 pounds or lost 2 pounds, we need to immediately get a lab done. So we have to have daily weights on him. So that means I will have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, get a weight on him, and then hook him up to a machine that's called CPT. It's actually CPT treatment. Essentially, that's where you cup your hand and you're basically beating your chest or the back of somebody else's back. You're basically giving them a CPT treatment. This machine does it for you already, so you don't have to sit there for 20 minutes or so to give them the compressions that they need to loosen up everything in the lungs. So I would have to hook him up to that. I would have to get his first feeding started, especially if we're going to school. So I would have to do that. I would have to weigh his diaper. Again, this is due to the diabetes status. We have to do a full 24-hour count. So it starts at the first time we change his diaper for the day, and it ends at the last med given, which is usually around 11 o'clock at night, or ends at midnight, basically. It begins at midnight and ends at midnight. So we have to keep track of that. There is a certain number. if he's constantly this number twice in a row, we have to go and get a lab done and check his sodium levels. Because essentially, if we do not catch this in time, he could have major issues. Just like if you are with the sugar diabetes, you could have major issues if you don't catch it in time. One of the issues is having seizures. He is on seizure medication, but he has not had any seizure activities. So we really are thinking it is a part of the diabetes status. So there's that. It also, if it's not taken care of right away, his entire system can fail and he could be dead within 24 hours. So he is a very handful. He gets a medication twice a day to help him not pee as much. Because that's essentially what you would be doing if you had the water diabetes. You'd be going and going and going. And that causes a lot of chaos within your system. So, with that, he would have major issues and wouldn't be able to do very much. And we would have to put him on a lot of medications, and he will be in a hospital stay for maybe 4 or 5 days to get it all controlled and then sent back home. So we have to really watch him. We have to really watch his diapers as well, because around after 3 to 4 o'clock, he starts to dump and he can pee out. And that messes up our numbers a lot if he pees out too much. So every hour on the hour, I literally have to change a diaper. Even though today was actually kind of mellow, I didn't really have to change that much. So it was cool on that. But I kept checking him like a hawk. So yeah, that is the day in the life of my three-year-old little brother. Everything weighed, everything measured. There's no getting around this. Sorry, I swallowed wrong again. So, essentially, on the weekends, I don't have a nurse for him because my mom is his nurse. So, there goes my job, because I don't know if this were to happen, if something were to happen to mom, how fast they will be able to turn around and get another nurse placed. So that to me is kind of scary to think about. And then my 10-year-old little brother, he is okay for the most part. He is, again, wheelchair and bed bound. He can't do anything on his own. He does qualify for nursing care. But with him, there's a lot of sectioning. Granted, even though there's sectioning on the 3-year-old little brother as well, it's more involved with the 10-year-old. The 10-year-old is on a vent, and this vent is not breathing for him. He can breathe on his own, but it's basically a giant CPAP machine. And if you do not know what a CPAP is basically people who have sleep apnea, like myself, wear a mask with pressure, basically air pressure, to keep the lungs filled So this way, when you're sleeping, you basically don't stop breathing. Because with sleep apnea, what happens is your entire body will basically shut down and you stop breathing. And then your brain kicks into overdrive quick as possible to get you to breathe again. So the brain is never really fully sleeping or resting to recuperate from the day. And that's where you have what I basically suffer from, which is sleeping all the time. I say I suffer from it because, excuse me, I literally do. Why do I have the burps? I know why. I literally do sleep all the time. So my 10-year-old little brother is lucky and got on the vent. Also, we found out that he does not breathe off enough CO2, which is a byproduct that your body makes whenever you take in a breath. You also breathe out CO2. He doesn't breathe out enough, so he has a buildup of CO2, and that could be life threatening as well. So, the vent is doing two things. One, keeping him constantly breathing, so his brain doesn't shut down on him, or his body doesn't shut down, and his brain has to work overdrive to keep functioning. And two, it's also helping him breathe off enough CO2. It's keeping a constant pressure in his lungs, which is a good thing. And by the way, both of my 10-year-old and 3-year-old little brother have trachs, which is basically the best way to describe it is if you see the smoker ads where you see, like, I want to say an old lady has is constantly putting her hand up on her neck area to talk with you, and it's kind of like a raspy voice. Essentially, they do cut around the collarbone to get into your trach, the your airway, basically. So essentially, that's what they have. It's really hard to explain. It's basically a hole in the neck and a plastic tube, basically keeping that hole in the neck open so they can breathe. It doesn't mean anything is wrong. Doesn't mean that they can't breathe on their own or anything like that. My 10-year-old little brother can breathe on his own. He has no issues whatsoever in breathing. He only has the trach due to he has a severe case of sleep apnea. And that's the only reason why he has the trach. Now, my 3-year-old little brother, the reason why he has a trach is because he silent aspirates. So essentially, he's swallowing his spit and it's going down that wrong tube. So it's going into his lungs instead of going into his stomach. So that's why he has the trach. So essentially, that's a life-saving necessity for both of them. So, with a 10-year-old little brother having a vent, he has learned how to pull himself off of the vent. And he has also pulled out not only his trach, but also his G tube, which is connected to his stomach, so he can get food into his system because he can't eat by mouth. Same thing with the 3-year-old little brother. He also has a G tube. Actually, all my brothers have G tubes. It's basically a little button at the stomach site. There's a little hole that is surgically opened, and the G tube is placed in there with a balloon on the inside of the stomach to keep that hole open, because within 30 minutes that hole does close. So my 10-year-old little brother likes to pull out everything. Anything tube-wise, he pulls. He's popped out his G-tube before and fed the bed, which that was fun to clean up. Says nobody. And he also has pulled out his trach as well. And with me not having as much confidence in myself as I should, and trust me, I should have a lot of confidence in myself by now, but I don't. Because again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I'm hurting the child when I'm actually not hurting him. So he had, whenever he pulls out his trach, I'm like, oh my gosh, running around in a panic mode. The first time he's actually, he didn't pull out his trach. The nurse at the time, who was taking care of him at that time, pulled out his trach and couldn't get the trach back in. So, and that's before I found out he can actually breathe on his own. And so I'm looking for his trach care supplies, his spare trach, so we can put in the spare trach. Everything that you need to change a trach, I'm looking for it all, and I'm dashing back and forth. And by the time I get everything ready to go, I look at him and I see his chest is moving up and down. I kid you not, I basically blew off a lot of air. I was relieved. And this was before the trach was placed in. So at that time, I'm talking to myself in my head and saying, okay, Tori, we can calm down. He's breathing on his own. We got this. And that's when I had a lot more confidence in myself. But still to this day, I cannot change a trach on my own. I prefer to have another person there, just due to the fact that even though I know how to change them and I can do them, I want somebody there in case if something happens. So that way they can pick up their phone and call 911 immediately while I'm trying to assess the issue at hand. Even though, like I said before, I need more confidence in myself, I still want somebody there just in case. You never know what could happen. So, essentially, with him pulling out all the little tubes and stuff, I can't leave him alone longer than 5 minutes, because it literally takes about 5 minutes of adjusting before he starts pulling at something. And even not even at 5 minutes, I give him a second, really. It takes about 5 minutes to work on the vent, to pull the vent off. But within seconds, he's tugging either at his trach tubing or at his feeding tube. So, yeah, I have to constantly watch on him because I don't want him to pull on something that he needs and either feed the bed, feed the floor, feed his chair, or feed everything around him with his food because he pulled out his G-tube again, or go long enough periods without his vent on that causes some underlying issues because he's not blowing off enough CO2 levels or CO2. So yeah, if I didn't have mom, I wouldn't be able to do any of this by myself. I might be able to take care of one, maybe two on my own, but all three of them on my own, that is scary because I know how much time and effort it goes in to take care of these kids. And essentially, there is not enough time in this world for me to think about on having if I want to pursue a actual job career. And so that leads me up to the point that I have. It takes a village, and it literally does take a village to raise any child, regardless if they have a medical condition or if they're disabled or if they're just regular little kids that can run around and tell you what they want and what they need. It still takes a village to raise these children. And with kids that have special needs, it takes more of a commitment from the caregiver to be there with them and to take care of them. So essentially, I feel like mom is lucky that she is in that field where she's a nurse. So she's able to work as a nurse during the COVID-19 crisis. But it also leads us back up to the conversation I had with mom. If she were to get COVID-19, there goes the main source of income. And I literally mean the main source of the income. And what would happen to me and the boys if she was no longer around? She can't think about that. I can't think about it. It's a depressing subject altogether because really, who wants to think about losing your mom? Granted, I've lost my grandfather and that was difficult as is. And I was very close to him, but I am so much closer to my mom and I see her more often and we talk every single day. How can I cope with that? I know I'll probably find a way to cope with it and get over the fact that she's gone, you know, but at the same time, I don't want to think about that. I know if there is a will, there is a way. I have a will to take care of my brothers. I will find a way to take care of them no matter what happens. Eventually, one day, I will have to face the inevitable on mom's passing. Hopefully, not for a very, very long time. I keep telling my mom I want 50 to 60 more years with her, and she's in her 50s. So, and I might be naive to even ask for those many years with her. I know eventually time will come and, you know, but now with this crazy stuff that's going on, mom's thinking about it and it's constantly bugging the crap out of her. She literally works the nights, so she's up around 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I take care of the like 11 o'clock meds and milk so I can go to bed. around a decent time, even though right now it's about 1:30. Um, so essentially for me, it is it's very hard to just think, oh, you can do this, no biggie. It is hard just because of one simple factor. My mom has made it very easy for me to take care of the kids, and how we have it set up right now where I take care of the kids during the day and she takes care of the kids during the night. Um, that is a lot easier for us, but essentially we will have to think about, the inevitable. I just don't want that to be now. Um, so, and I mean, she has valid reasons to be scared and worried and concerned. One, we're trying to buy the house that we're living in now. So it's essentially a rent to own. So we're trying to do that. My mom's also trying to get a vehicle as well, to where we can modify it to essentially be like a bus, um, to where um, you have like a lift inside of the vehicle to get the kids into the vehicle in their wheelchairs and tie them down inside the vehicle without transferring them from their chair to a car seat or a harness, which we do right now, and it's kind of a little bit difficult, especially when we are wanting to go on an outing as a family. Um, Granted, right now with everything that's going on, we're not really doing outings. Um, but so the van mom's trying to get will help us essentially with, family outings and stuff like that. So we'll be able to do a little bit more than being stuck at home. Um, which also brings up, I want to go on a freaking trip. I want to go have a vacation and travel and all that stuff. And yes, I am going nuts. Um, I have only been to two states, and that's Texas and Florida. I went to Texas to see King Tut when he was in the United States, and I went to Florida for Disney. So, those are the only two states I've been to. Um, I had an opportunity to go to, I think it's, oh heck, I don't know what state it is. It's a state with a arch, St. Louis. That's a city. It's wherever St. Louis is at. It's where I had the opportunity to go to, but I didn't have the money, so I didn't have the funds. Um, and essentially, even for my senior trip, I had the opportunity to go to Texas again for the Renaissance Fair. And again, I didn't have the money, nor did I have anybody who was willing to help me to go on my senior trip. So yeah, I had that. Um, so essentially, getting this van and getting it modified, essentially we can go on trips, maybe even go to the zoo, because we've been wanting to go to the zoo for ever and a day now. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of thinking of things, fun things. Um, but again, at the very back of our mind is everything that's going on right now. Having, all these positive cases coming into light and waiting for the end result. So I'm trying my hardest not to think about it. And I'm trying to really just think about more positive in my life, because with all of this negative right now, we really do need something a little bit special going on. So essentially, for me, I would really rather think about the future. I would really rather think about, something that is good, not something that is bad. So there's all that. Um, but essentially, for me, there's too much coverage on COVID-19 nowadays. I see it in my Facebook feed, I see it in my YouTube feed. I get emails constantly about it. My school's talking about it. Um, and it's very chaotic. And even when I'm at work, I get customers who's asking me, what are you doing about the COVID-19 cleaning wise and this and that and return policy during COVID-19. It's beginning to be too much for me. Like, I'm about to have a mental breakdown because of it. Like, I'm about to literally just curl up in a ball and cry, because this is just way too much for me. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's basically, I care too much about everybody around me to not want to sit down and bawl. And that's what gets me the most, is me wanting just to bawl my eyes out, because you're seeing these numbers and you're seeing everything that's going on around the world, and it's like, when will it stop? When will it just end? And it makes me want to cry, because I care way too much about people. I don't care if you're one of those idiots out there that's driving 100 miles on the freeway. It's, and I don't even care if I know you. I care about you as a human being. And I'm seeing videos again on my Facebook feed, because on my YouTube feed, I don't have to see the video if I don't click on it, even though it automatically plays on my phone. But until I click on it, I don't know what is being said. But there's one thing that was bothering me the most on Facebook, and it's about the Chinese people here in America getting criticized for COVID-19. In my mind, I'm thinking, they didn't cause this. Yes, it originally came from China, but they did not cause this. What happened was this strand, and it is another strand of a virus that's been there for who knows how long. This strand mutated from animals to humans. So it is not, absolutely 100% not the Chinese fault, though I will place a little guilt at them for not being, or not stepping up and saying, okay, this started in our country. We're going to find a cure for it. we're going to do this because it started here first, and throw blame, not throw blame at the United States, because that's exactly what they're doing right now. So at the same time, this is where my um, astrological sign comes into play. I am a Libra, so I look at both sides. At the same time, the United citizens are blaming the Asians and the Chinese people for giving them COVID. And I just want to sit there and smack a whole bunch of people who don't really know how viruses act. And I can't really talk about that because I don't really know how the strands get mutated and all that stuff. So I don't have a leg to basically stand on. But I do have an insight from my mom being a nurse. You can't blame a culture for something. Even though right now I want to sit here and say it's the Chinese fault for not standing up and saying, hey, yes, it came from our country first, and we'll be more than willing to help out with, the producing all the medication that they can. But again, I see it from their side of point of view. They got hit the hardest because if you look at a map now, because I'm sure there's maps out there that shows you the coverage of COVID-19. If you look at that map, and I've seen the map, China is basically a big old red blob. Okay. So they got hit very, very hard. And so at the same time that I want to sit here and say they should have stood up and proceeded to get together and make a vaccination or find a cure or research the illness, I see that they've got hit the hardest right now. And the only thing I'm against China for is the illegal pictures that they sell on AliExpress. That's the only thing that I'm against China on. Even though, yes, I will buy from AliExpress. That's one place I get my diamond paintings from. And I only buy from a select few shops. So now occasionally I will try another shop. But I do tell you guys, hands down, be careful buying from this shop because I'm not 100% sure that these pictures are legal for resale. But, that's where I get from. And looking at both sides of the picture, we shouldn't sit there and blame a culture for the spread of COVID. Just because it's spreading around doesn't mean that China planted this virus to kill all of us. What it means is we need to come together as a community, either lock ourselves up in our homes so we're not spreading it, staying home as much as possible, and only going out when needed. Which, by the way, I saw a YouTube video of a gentleman who tested positive for COVID-19 and was walking around in Walmart. And he was told to stay away from the public. And he still walked around in Walmart. What the hell? Excuse my French, but what the actual hell? Why are people walking around and getting everybody else sick. And he did disrespect everyone by saying, I don't care about all y'all. I gotta eat just like the rest of y'all. Okay, I understand you have to eat, but you have been specifically told to stay home because you are positive for COVID 19 and it's highly contagious. I don't know what state that was in. I know it was from one of my friends on Facebook. It is crazy. It is ridiculous. And those are the people that's spreading the virus right now. Instead of going by what their government is telling them to do, which is stay home and don't go into public, isolate yourself, basically. It's just, I know that's the reason why, we're all going to get sick. And there's too many people out there that's already talked enough about this sickness. There's even one video I saw where a lady was explaining her grocery visit. There was a lady in front of her getting checked out. The cashier touches his face and was going to continue to check her out, but the lady told him, well, said to him, aren't you going to wash your hands? Well, first of all, being a cashier myself, you can't leave your register at that point of time when you have a customer in front of you. You're not allowed to leave your register. Even though the customer said that he can go and wash his hands, she'll wait. It was making the other customers behind her wait. So the young man suggested to use hand sanitizer. The lady said okay and felt basically this is coming from the lady that was behind this other lady. So the lady that was getting checked out felt confident that she prevented the spread of COVID, but proceeded to touch the one thing that we all use, the keypad for our credit cards. She did not wash her hands. She did not sanitize her hands. So therefore, COVID could be living on that keypad. Hasn't been wiped down in probably a good minute because, the cashier has probably been too busy to even write down his station. And she's worried about the cashier touching his face. So, as the lady was talking about her experience, she proceeded to say, you know what? Just touch your face. Just touch your face. We're not going to live because there's these people out here that are doing, all these crazy things. And I will agree with her. After seeing the disrespectful video of the gentleman testing positive and in Walmart and bragging about it, yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's sad. But, brighter point of view, for us, we have diamond painting. This will keep us busy until the lockdown is over with. So, there's always something to think about that will bring a smile to your face. Think about all those nice little diamond paintings that you've been pushing off. You get time to actually do them now. And, for me, this is actually my third diamond painting that I have that's in work in progress right now. And for me, this chest is going to be done probably, I don't know how many videos I can make out of this. Because essentially, while we are in lockdown, I will do the drill with me's. Just simply because we need something, right? And this is a way for us to go ahead and have something to do. And I feel in my heart and in my mind that right now, while we're facing this chaos in our lives, that one, I get to get off my chest everything that I'm worried about, everything that's scaring me. And I mean, I don't even care if you guys at this point don't like my video, don't like the content that I'm talking about, but that's on my mind right now because of everything that's going on. So essentially, I'm using this as an outlet for myself, and it's actually calmed me down quite a bit. And I was actually able to think about a lot of little things that I didn't really think about before. And as time goes on, I'll probably think about more things. And who knows? My conversations can be quite interesting. I can start a sentence and go on to another sentence in a matter of seconds. And you guys are probably at this time asking, what the heck are you talking about? And essentially, I can make these drill with me's quite long. And as you guys can tell, if y'all look up, I pretty much got one color kind of done on, well, I mean, I still have quite a ways to do it, but on the side that I've been working on, I got it pretty much covered here. Just in the amount of time that I've been talking with you guys about my thoughts on COVID and what my mom and I have talked about and my fears and basically my concerns. But I know as long as I have this channel, I have an outlet to talk about what's on my chest, especially things that are bugging me the most. This way I can just talk about it and get it off my chest and go on from there. Granted, for me, I just would rather not think about things. So, anywho, it's going on 2 o'clock in the morning. I am tired. I've got to go do some milk. I also need to go and stretch because my legs are hurting and so is my back. So essentially for now, the plan is while we are in lockdown phase, I will try to record a video for you guys Saturday night and get it uploaded on Sunday afternoon. You guys will see this 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that could be an hour. That could be like 1 p.m., 11 a.m., who knows, it will be released my time, 12 p.m. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more of my Drill With Me's, go ahead and email me at toyscraft@yahoo.com. Again, that's Tories with an S, craft@yahoo.com. It's in the description down below, so you can definitely get it there. Just email me stating that you want to see more Drill With Me's. If I get more people to say that they want these, I will continue on after the lockdown has passed. Otherwise, once the lockdown has passed, these Drill With Me's will not be posted up again until I have more people requesting the Drill With Me's. I'm asking for the request, so this way I know how many people will be interested regardless of the views. I just want to know who will be interested in Drill With Me's. And also, the one thing that I want to add on to the Drill With Me's is you guys provide me with a topic, so this way um, you guys will be a part of the Drill With Me's. I want to make you guys more a part of my channel, and I want to listen to what you guys have to say. Again, I love y'all, and I want y'all to feel like you're a part of this channel, even if you're just a subscriber. Also, speaking about subscribers, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This will also help me understand that there are more people out there that like the entertainment that I provide, and also will eventually help me down in the long run. So go ahead, subscribe now if you haven't. If not, if you don't want to, that's fine, but please consider it in the future as well. Until next time, my lovelies, I will see you guys then. Take care of yourselves and make sure to wash your hands if you're near a sink. If not, try to make sure you have some hand sanitizer. If you don't have any, there is a homemade recipe on the internet that you guys can easily access and get. And hopefully, you guys have the stuff in your home already and will be able to make it. So, have a good time and take care.